Good day, my name is Janine Ryan and I'm the editor of Farmers Weekly magazine. With me today is Tsholo Mokobe, the managing director of Atone Works. He'll be speaking about the upcoming Agri 5 Expos. Thank you and welcome. Thank you for joining me.
It's a pleasure and thank you for having us.
I think let's start by you just introducing yourself as well as Atone Works.
Sure. My name is Tsholo Mokobe, the managing director and founder of Aton Works. We've been established for the last 11 years. We're a media company that seeks to deal with transformation in the agricultural sector using media tools such as digital publications, exhibitions, and social media dissemination of information to assist African farmers specifically.
So what is the purpose of the Agri 5 Expos?
So post 1994, we realized that there was a lot of opportunities in many sectors, specifically the agricultural sector. Our role and passion at Agri 5 Expo is to assist Black farmers specifically to access markets, to understand quality service providers within the sector. This will then translate to their growth. As you know, they are currently emerging farmers, and we need more of Black commercial farmers. So the partners and the exhibitors that we have are there to assist, to expose them to quality services to ensure their success. We're currently running 2 exhibitions on the 29th and 30th of August for the Eastern Cape region. We'll be hosting it in East London. And then on the 30th and 31st of October in Pietermaritzburg, catering for the KZN farmers. That's where the expo will be held. And the expos are in the form of an exhibition, in the form of a workshop where our partners are given an opportunity to present their offerings in depth and in detail to the farmers. And then we have machinery demonstrations from some of our partners that are attending on both days. Yeah.
And what is the format of the show? So, you know, when a farmer arrives, what can they expect? Like, what's the first thing they need to do, and what will happen during the day?
Before I answer that question, let me give it some more context. So our niche in the exhibition space, we have conscientized our exhibitors to say you're dealing with emerging farmers, not commercial farmers. This means that your products needs to speak to them in terms of affordability, of course, and the scale of their farming. It needs to translate to the offerings, because for a very long time, emerging farmers have been given the same products and services of a commercial farmer. And for us, that's where we saw a gap and an opportunity to say, they never qualify for any of these criteria. Let us speak to the private sector within the sector to say, you need to scale down on your requirements, you need to scale down on your offerings so that they can meet your requirements. So our format is that we start the exhibitions at 8 a.m. There's registration, and then shortly after registration, the stands open at 8:30, where you can go and visit the various stands and consult with the exhibitors. And then at 9:30, we have our program where we normally have a keynote speaker who will assist us in opening, and then our partners are given an opportunity to present their offerings. And in between there, we take breaks, and then we'll have our lunch and have the last speaker, and we take it back to stands visitations.
So the focus of the expo seems to be more on demonstrations than on lengthy presentations, let's say.
Definitely, and for many reasons, because of the number of exhibitors that we have and the time that we have during the day, we need to ensure that the exhibitors have got a lot of time to consult with the farmers, especially if you're going to have 7,500 farmers. We need to ensure that the visitations of the stands is met, but without, of course, missing an opportunity to be more technical in terms of the presentations that our partners have. Yeah. So it's well balanced, and more time is spent at exhibitions.
Yeah. And what was the inspiration for the name? Why is it called Agri 5?
So Agri 5, we're dealing with the 5 commodities, which is your crops, fruits and veg, it's your livestock, we've got dairy, we've got poultry and piggery. So you'll see in our logo, we showcase those 5 sectors, or rather those 5 commodities. And with that being said, we've seen that black farmers are excelling a lot in your poultry, they're excelling a lot in their livestock and crops as well. And there's also an attachment of food security behind those commodities that I've mentioned in the rural outskirts. They rely on those commodities for their day-to-day survival. So it's passion and it's also food security. So that's what we want to drive home.
And how long have these expos been ongoing?
So we're now 11th year this year. So as soon as we started the business, it was one of our flagship projects that we started. We started in the Free State, and then we left the Free State in 2017 because majority of our majority of our farmers were coming from the Eastern Cape and going to Free State. So we had to make a strategic decision as a business to say, I think Eastern Cape needs it more. And then over the years, in 2022, one of our partners said, how about we expand it to KZN? And strange enough, KZN being the new baby, it's doing exceptionally well and it's running in par with the Eastern Cape.
Well, there are a lot of farmers in KZN.
Definitely. Yeah. And may I add, the farmers in KZN, we've picked up a lot of passion from their end, and they're well organized in terms of their company profiles, their hunger for opportunities, not to compare, but it's something that we've experienced, yeah.
How are the Agri 5 Expos contributing to transformation in the sector?
What we are achieving in the sector in terms of transformation is very unique because our peers in the exhibition space are more commercial, farmer-driven, and what we are seeking to achieve is to upbring and empower the emerging farmers at the most. So for us, what we've seen in the sector is that we really, really committed to that line of exhibitions. Yeah.
How do you see the expos evolving over the next 5 years? Do you envision them getting bigger? Do you envision them becoming longer, maybe being held over a longer period of time, so on and so forth? Well, what do you see happening over the next 5 years?
Great question. Strategically, we would love to have it in each province. I think what determines the growth is obviously the resources from an internal point of view as a business, and now our ability to execute it. But in terms of the durations, those durations seems to work for many, many reasons. But in terms of our expansion growth, we want to go to Limpopo. We want to go to the Northwest as well. So that is part of our 5-year plan in terms of our growth. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you want to keep them short periods of time so that people don't necessarily need to get accommodation to stay somewhere or something like that. Like, you want to still target the same audience.
Yeah. Look, we do have commercial black farmers that attend, and then we've got emerging. Emerging, they've got an annual turnover of under 1 million, which is a good appetite for our exhibitors. But we do not deprive anyone who is a backyard farmer, because that is our passion, to say we want to expose you, we want to grow with you. So with that being said, from a logistical point of view for the farmers attending, it is best that we do it in 2 days, because they have to get themselves there, they have to get accommodation for themselves. So for some of them it's very straining. So those are one of the reasons why we keep it short, and that is why our growth strategy says each province must have its own expo, rather than traveling from province to province. So it's to cater for the farmers as well.
And what would you say the ratio is in terms of the amount of commercial farmers that attend and the amount of emerging and or smallholders that attend?
So the data that we have from last year, 7,500 from the Eastern Cape, we have 625 commercial farmers attending, and then the rest are emerging. They've got an annual turnover of under 1 million, but their buying power is welcomed, and it's visible, and then the rest are the ones that saying, I want to go into this, I'm here to do research, I'm here to understand. But majority of that 600 is commercial, and then the rest of that 6,000 plus, those are emerging.
Okay, so it's mostly in favor of emerging farmers at this point.
Not only that, Janine, the biggest factor, I guess, is our national stats regarding black commercial farmer. I mean, at 665, I think at best you can, at a province, you'd probably come in at under 2,000. So it's there.
What do you see for the future of agriculture in South Africa? If we, especially in terms of those commodities that you mentioned?
Our vision internally is to play our role towards food security at a global level, the target for 2050. So those commodities that I've mentioned, we spoke about being a primary diet, your crops and vegetables, and your livestock and your poultry as well. So to answer your question, those specific commodities are a huge factor in the sector. And we want to see our farmers that are attending convert from emerging to commercial. And they can do that through our Expo because the caliber of partners that we have can pick from them to say, you've got potential, we can work with you.
Do you have a message that you want to share with farmers or to encourage farmers to attend these expos?
So the advantage, or rather why I would say attend the Expo, is that we've got a mixed private companies that are exhibiting with us. They are doing exceptionally well in their crafts. So it means you'll be exposed to the best of the best. And if you really want to grow and understand the new techniques and technology in farming, this is the Expo to go to. You'll be exposed to the right people who will be able to assist you and walk the journey with you in farming.
Yeah, it's a brilliant networking opportunity.
Definitely, because what we have experienced in farmers' days, where they do their own farmers' days, which are a bit smaller in scale, is that there will be one stakeholder. But here you've got a vast range of stakeholders where you could say, I'm going to leave my farm, I'll attend this expo. And from a financial advice to machinery, to your fertilizers. So everyone is there, and the relevant stakeholders. We've got an obligation as a business to work with the best of the best, because we believe it's going to translate to growing the farmers here. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tsholo, for joining me. It's obviously Farmers Weekly is a media partner with the Agri 5 Expos this year, and something we're very excited about, considering that I think your objectives sort of line up to our objectives, which is to help transform the industry and get more black smallholder farmers into the commercial space. So we're very excited to be a part of this, and we look forward to the first expo.
Thank you so much, Janine. We're really privileged to be aligned with Farmers Weekly. We really know what it means to us. Thank you.
Thank you.